You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Time to sharpen those swords. You're listening to Sabres Semantics, a hard-hitting interview and discussion show featuring players, alumni, media, and all others who cover the NHL's Buffalo Sabres. With interesting stories from the past and current objective analysis, this show is sure to provide an entertaining and unique perspective for both Sabres and hockey fans alike.
Oh, brother, we are not worthy!
Exclusively on the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Welcome into another episode of Sabres Semantics right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. Thank you to those that are tuned in on our video version on YouTube, and thank you to those that are choosing to listen to us in your favorite on-demand audio platform. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, to smash that bell to stay up to date with all of our coverage here on the network. It's going to pop up on the video version on the screen. And make sure to give us a follow on X at Sabres Semantics. Stay up to date with our Sabres coverage, as well as on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook by searching the Armchair GM Sports Network. As you can see on the video version today and in the description of the video, I'm very pleased to be joined by a special guest today on the show, and it is Bill Hoppe from Buffalo Hockey Beat and Olean Times Herald. Bill, thanks so much for being able to join us today, and first time on the show as well, and look forward to chatting with you throughout the season, and got to know you a little bit at a couple of Sabres games been able to cover, but I really appreciate you being able to come on today. Where can people find, I mentioned some of the outlets you're working for, but where can they find some of your great work and what you're doing with the Sabres?
Thank you. You can find it at buffalohockeybeat.com. You can find it at, in the Olean Times Herald, Niagara Gazette, Lockport Union Sun and Journal. So it's in a few papers out there.
For sure. So how long have you been covering the Sabres, Bill?
Since late 2002. Long time.
So you've been through the ups and downs and seeing what this franchise has had over the last little bit. And
yeah,
wish I would have been able to have you on to talk about a little bit more of the positive opening week of their regular season, but look forward to getting your updates on a few of the players and a few of the updates regarding the lines and things like that. But sort of, I guess, in as we get going here, 0-3 start, not what the team wants. 14-year playoff drought. We know that the pressure is on this franchise and the organization. From somebody that's there at practice every day and at the games and everything like that, do you see a little bit more added, I guess, pressure and urgency from maybe the front office, the coaching staff, the players? Like, do you notice anything a little bit different? Because it's obviously been, they're weighing a lot right now on their shoulders going into this season.
well, I think they definitely feel pressure to get it done and to get in the playoffs and just end this thing. I mean, it's a black cloud that hangs over the organization. I mean, it's the longest drought in NHL history. I mean, I think it's the second longest in pro sports behind the Jets, maybe New York Jets.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's been a tough go for a long, long time. And I don't know if I see, Lindy Ruff reacting to pressure or feeling pressure, that type of thing. But I mean, there's definitely an urgency within the organization, to get this right. And it's funny that they seem to have a good, productive training camp. I don't know how much stock you can always put into training camp, but it seemed like they liked what they did. They had a lot of longer practices. They targeted certain areas, which I probably say every team does that, but they really focused on shaving the goals against. I think playing with more purpose, that type of thing. And here they are, 3 games of the season, 0-3. And I mean, throughout the course of a 6-month, 82-game schedule, you're gonna lose 3 games in a row. That's just the way the NHL is. But for them to lose 3 games in a row to start the season with all this pressure on them. It's just it's the worst. It feels like the worst possible start, and not just lose 3 games. They've lost all 3 games in regulation. They've scored 2 goals. I don't know if they've been awful in the games. I should say I should say they haven't been awful in the games. They had a rough first period in Boston, but overall they haven't been like bad, but they certainly haven't been good, and they certainly haven't done enough to win. You look at the lineup they have in 2 goals. I mean, again, small sample size, but with how excited these guys seem to be to start the season and just what they were able to end last season on that run over the final quarter of the year. I think they seem to figure things out, and here we are. We're talking about them. I guess they're one of 2 teams that hasn't held a lead this year. The other is the Ducks, although the Ducks have won a game in overtime. So, I mean, it's barely a week in, and it's not looking good.
No, and I've got the player stats up on the screen for everybody that's watching on the video version. And Jason Zucker leads the way right now. And again, you mentioned like you're not gonna win many games. You're only scoring 2 goals over 3 contests, and I'm aware that that Colorado is one of the better teams in the National Hockey League, but I just from what we saw in the first week, Bill, like it's just hard for me to wrap my head around. Again, 79 games left. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here. And like you mentioned, teams go through 3-game stretches or even longer throughout a long 82-game season. But with the injuries piling up, which we'll get to as well, like just again, you talked about it not being pretty much couldn't have been a worse start all around, but like with the schedule they've got coming up, they still have to prepare for these games. And Lindy Ruff talked a lot in the practice availability with you guys today about just the compete level and making sure that guys, are bringing their best effort, like already a week into the season. Like to you, is that something that a week into the season should we be having those conversations because they've had the whole offseason? Not like we're talking about games in December, January, February here where guys start to get tired, fatigued, things like that.
Yeah, I think he meant that his top 4 defensemen were pretty gassed. Although to me, they didn't against the Colorado, they didn't have much of a push or they really didn't have any push in the third period. Maybe 3 shots before they pulled the goalie, something like that, 4 or 5 overall. So they didn't have any push in the third period against Colorado. So I mean, interpret that as you will. I mean, maybe they are gassed as a whole. They shouldn't be. I mean, they had a demanding training camp. They're trying to raise the standard. And yeah, 3 games in, I mean, you shouldn't be feeling that. They haven't, I don't think they've had any back to backs yet. Um, the schedule is only going to get tougher. I mean, in an Olympic year, I mean, at a certain point, it's going to get really, really hard. And they're not even going to have practice time, really. They're going to get their practice with some morning skates, more or less, for the latter part of the year. So, but I think Lindy Ruff wanted to make it clear today that was his top 4 defensemen had played a lot. So, but we'll see how they respond against Ottawa. I mean, Ottawa is, I mean, another good team. I mean, I know people don't think of them in the same category as Toronto or Tampa or whoever, but I mean, they had a very nice year last year. To me, they seem pretty built, to keep moving up. So, I mean, this is a tough stretch for them. They have the Panthers, they have the Canadians. I mean, a couple games against the Leafs before the month ends. So they're in it right now. They're in it, and they got to rattle off a couple of wins here. I mean, if they're 2-3 by the end of the week, you can take a deep breath and say, okay, they've settled down. But I mean, if they have 1 win or 1 point or nothing, I mean, you don't know. I mean, there's going to be a lot of questions.
Yeah, and you have 7 home games in the first month, and you again mentioned not really a lot of back-to-backs except the back-to-back with Toronto, which again, it's only a 2-hour commute, right? Or even less if they're flying. So it's sort of like it just again, they have really no excuse to have those types of efforts early on in the season with the way their schedule is sort of are playing out. And Again, when you talk about the standings already early on, and we're still in October here, and the Sabres obviously haven't picked up a point yet, and again, 90 points was sort of where everybody had projected them to be, and that would be a 50-50 shot at the playoffs. I'm sure that they would definitely take that, considering having a 13-game losing streak last year. If they didn't go through that, maybe half of that, they would have been right there. So, like, when do you think that they start to hit the panic button? Or do you think the panic button's already been hit, like with the injuries that have come up as well? Like, in your mind, Bill, like when do we really need to start panicking if this team doesn't start to pick up some wins here?
I would say by the end of the week. It's just, as you know, the NHL standings are a little odd in that by the beginning of November, American Thanksgiving, Christmas time, if you're in a playoff, the teams that are in a playoff spot are typically the teams that don't that make it. And I mean, if you're on the outside looking in at that time, even though you're a third, not even halfway through the season, maybe even a quarter of the season, I mean, to get into the top eight is really, really difficult, and typically maybe only one or two teams over those final few months uh, can creep in there. So um, these early season games are just very, very critical, and they got to get going here. Or I mean, if they're in you know eighth place, or excuse me, if they're in whatever 14th place in the conference or 13th place or whatever, in 3 weeks, I mean, they're going to be in very rough shape, and it's going to be a ton of ground to make up.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you have to leapfrog so many teams, you talk about
Hmm.
you can pick up wins, but you also need those 4 or 5 teams that are in front of you to also lose games as well. And then you're going to have 4 point swing games if you're playing against those opponents. So again, you just don't want to dig yourself such a big hole to overcome early in the season. But you look at how injury plagued the Florida Panthers are right now. You look at Ottawa's going to be without Brady Tkachuk tonight and long term, it seems like. And you see these opportunities within the Atlantic Division. Again, not really expecting them to be a top 3 team there, but you would expect them to be able to take advantage of some of these teams that are going through the injury bug, and then they obviously have gone through the injury bug themselves. So you see sort of like a missed opportunity right now with the Atlantic sputtering and having these teams that look like they can be had right now, that they're not being able to really take advantage and make up some ground.
Sure, sure. And there with the Atlantic Division for a couple of years now, you thought Tampa would take a step back, and they really haven't. I mean, on one hand they have, but they really haven't. You thought Boston would take a step back. They have, but I mean, they've looked pretty good so far. Small sample size. I mean, it's a tough, tough division. I mean, uh, I think a lot of people thought the Sabres were well ahead of the Canadians, and the Canadians made the playoffs last year. I think a lot of people thought the Sabres were ahead of Ottawa, and Ottawa made it last year. I think people have been waiting on Detroit for a long time, and they're a team that could. I mean, if they made the playoffs, it wouldn't shock me. So they're in a very competitive, crowded division with a team in the Panthers who, maybe a potential dynasty type team. So they have their work cut out for them, and they just got to rattle off a couple of wins here to settle things down. I mean, um, they have such a great opportunity with these early home games, as you mentioned, and it's just an opportunity. KeyBank Center over the years hasn't been a tough place for opponents. Let's face it. When they're winning, like they were a decade and a half ago, 2 decades, it's a pretty raucous arena. It's a lot of fun to watch a game there. It's a rink opponents don't like visiting, but I mean, it hasn't been like that for a long time. So it's also an opportunity just to make it a tough place to play again. I mean, I can't underscore that enough. I mean, right now the crowd gets on the Sabres, and they tighten up. They don't react well to it, to the booing, just the general whatever, just the general feel of it sometimes. And yeah, a lot of nights it's not a good environment.
And quickly before we hit the break, Bill, on that point, I think what made the home opener even more disappointing was that it was virtually a sellout, and for the Sabres
Yeah.
to have those the last few seasons has been few and far between with what the team has put out on the ice. And we remember those days when the place was humming and the atmosphere was incredible, and one of the best home atmospheres in the National Hockey League. Like, what was the feeling like going into that game with a sold out building and everybody, filing in and just dying to be able to have something to cheer for? And they really didn't have it the entire night.
Well, I made the comment early on when they did have a few opportunities early in the game against Igor Shesterkin there. It felt like, they might blow the roof off the building if they scored an early goal. It just had that feel early, and then it just kind of disappeared, which was kind of sad. I mean, they had really they got shut out, really nothing to cheer about the whole night. And, a lost opportunity there just to not only win a game, but to just play a memorable opener and establish something. So I don't know how the crowds are going to be coming up here. Ottawa's a very good team, but on a Wednesday night, I don't expect a big crowd. I mean, they have Columbus later this month, they're in Montreal, Florida on an Saturday afternoon, Stanley Cup champion, they might get a good crowd. But if this keeps going on, there could be some very small crowds. And just, to have that building packed opening night was special with all they've been through, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah. And again, that's just very unfortunate for a team that's looking for some positivity with something like that to be able to latch onto. But we're going to get more reaction here with Bill Hoppe, a longtime Sabres media member. After this commercial break, we're going to get into lines and the power play and things like that going into tonight's game against Ottawa. Stay with us.
J&L Flooring is Niagara's specialty flooring and design company. They take great pride and provide elite customer service and support. With a beautiful showroom, great pricing, and a wide variety of truly unique products, J&L Flooring is your specialty flooring and decor boutique shop. All of their products are environmentally friendly and responsibly produced, so you can feel good about your flooring choices. Their goal is to build authentic relationships based on honesty and integrity that they foster with respect and authenticity. Offering a unique and wide range of quality products presented by a knowledgeable and patient team, they simplify the process to make your life easier and to make your home more beautiful. Visit them at 4424 Montrose Road in Niagara Falls or find out more at jnlflooring.com. If you think you can get a better deal anywhere else, you don't know Jack at J&L Flooring.
Whether you just brought home a new furry member of the family or would like help finding something new for your picky eater, maybe you've done your research and want to upgrade your pet's nutrition from an entry-level food, the staff at any of the global pet food stores in the Niagara region would love to help you out. Let them show you why our lesser-known premium brands are so much better than highly advertised big corporate brands. The value from the brands we carry is not only visible in the health and vitality in your pet, but also because you won't need to feed as much as with the other brands. Better nutrition from a longer-lasting bag. We hope to see you at one of the following locations across Niagara: 3643 Portage Road in Niagara Falls, 160 Highway 20 in Font Hill, as well as 400 Scott Street, St. Catharines. Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family.
Are you currently looking for work in the Niagara region? If so, you owe it to yourself to check out the services provided by the Niagara Employment Help Center, located at 6100 Thoroldstone Road in Niagara Falls. Their many free services include a fully staffed resource area open to the public, resume and cover letter writing, local labor market information, job search strategies, assistance with clarifying employment, training and career goals, employment counseling and job search support, Better Jobs Ontario information, and registration assistance. Check out their website at ehc.on.ca or call 905-358-0021 for more information. The Niagara Employment Help Center, helping people find work since 1983. This Employment Ontario program is funded by the Government of Ontario.
Wild Bill's Auto Repair is your local center for auto maintenance and repair in the Niagara region. Since 2012, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop has been helping customers stay safe and confident on the road, knowing their vehicle is in top running condition through the garage's services. Located at 7868 Oakwood Drive in Niagara Falls, the garage started as a tribute to the owner's father, William Robert Hunter, who passed away, continuing the same community spirit and high level of service which customers can expect from him back at Hunter's Auto Repair. Their multi multi award-winning auto shop has earned the trust of the Niagara community with its fair treatment of all customers who can feel confident they'll get trustworthy advice and repairs during their visit. Their experienced crew loves meeting new people and looks forward to forming a lasting partnership for the care of your vehicles. To find out more or to book a service, contact them today at 905-358-7868 or wildbillsauto.ca. Wild Bill's Auto Repair, helping customers stay safe and confident on the road since 2012.
You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
Hey, hey, here we go, it's hockey night in Buffalo. Hey, hey, here we go, the boys in blue, white, and gold. Hey, hey, here we go, make some noise, get in the zone. All for one and one for all, let's hear you from your heart and soul. And we will stand, raising our hands, saying, let's go Buffalo, let's go Buffalo.
Welcome back to part 2 of today's Sabres Semantics episode right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. Thank you to those that are tuned in on our video version on YouTube and those that are listening on your favorite on-demand audio platform. Make sure to give us a follow on X at Sabres Semantics. Stay update with all of our Sabres coverage as well as on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok by searching the Armchair GM Sports Network for all of our short reels and content. Brandon Caputo back with you, and I'm very pleased to be joined again by Bill Hoppe from Buffalo Hockey Beat and Olean Times Herald, longtime Sabres media member. Bill, before we get further into sort of the meat and potatoes of how the Sabres are going to look tonight's game and going for the rest of the week with some of the injury report, friend of the show, and I know a friend of yours, Joe Yerdon, fellow Buffalo Sabres media member, wanted me to ask you a very hard-hitting question here on the show today, and he wants to know, what is your favorite place to eat on the road?
My favorite place to eat on the road, oh boy, probably Montreal. They just have a very good meal. They have hot dogs with toasted rolls in the intermission. It's just a very good meal. A lot of variety, a lot of selections. I enjoy eating at the Bell Center.
Yeah, I mean, Montreal smoked meat, one of the best. So, yeah, Montreal, I guess that's a good one.
Definitely.
I guess.
All right, thank you for the question, Joe.
Yeah, Joe might have another opinion, but I guess I'll have to have him back on for his expert analysis of away media food.
Okay.
But getting into it further here, Bill, I'm going to pull something up on the screen here about something Lindy Ruff talked about, and I know it's an article that you wrote as well, about Yuri Kulich, and with the injury to Josh Norris, they gave Kulich that number one center role right away. It seemed like for the first week, and just hasn't seemed to play well. He's sort of practicing as an extra forward earlier yesterday, and looks like he could possibly be scratched versus Ottawa. We'll have to wait and see. But you talked about it here in your article. But what did you, and sort of what was the vibe when he sort of said that about Yuri Kulich? Just simply put, needed him to be better as a young player.
Yeah, I mean, he really didn't mince words. He said he has to be better. He's capable of more. He's not getting it done, basically. And he could very well be a scratch against the Senators. He practiced on the I guess the fifth line with Mason Gertzen and Jordan Greenway, who was just returning to practice. Is he? I mean, he's clearly sending a message. Will it just end there? Will he? He said he stopped short of saying he would scratch him. He said they were just kind of playing with things, trying some things out. But I mean, Lindy Ruff's not afraid to scratch players, so I mean, maybe he sits against the Senators. But yeah, I mean, 3 games. I mean, small sample size again, but they had big expectations for Yuri Kulich. He scored 15 goals in 62 games last year. I think they think of him as easily a 20-goal scorer more. I mean, he can be a 30-goal scorer in my opinion in the NHL. He's a guy that centered the top line a lot of times down the stretch last year, and through 3 games, really haven't noticed him. I mean, he's a -4. I mean, you haven't noticed him at least on the offensive end. He hasn't done anything. And with Josh Norris injured, some other guys injured, I mean, they need him badly to just step up and contribute. And we haven't seen anything so far.
Something that glaring, I got Heather Engel's tweet about the lines and pairings up on the screen, Bill, and Tage Thompson moving back to center. Do you think that is something that's a long-term play, short-term play, Norris being out for upwards of 8 weeks is going to put a wrench into things. But Tage is obviously known as a natural center, but has been playing on the right wing ever since that injury last year. But do you see him sort of staying in the middle, or where are we at there?
I'm not sure. I think with Lindy Ruff and Tage Thompson, I don't I don't think cares either way, and I don't think Lindy Ruff is married to one position. So I think it could be a switch from game to game, or within a game, or from week to week. But I think, I mean, they're at, they're already at kind of a critical juncture here, and they're not. Josh Norris is hurt. They're not getting any production from Yuri Kulich down the middle. Um, Ryan McLeod's had a rough start. I think he's a -5, no points, I believe. So yeah, why not throw Tage Thompson in there? He's your top offensive threat. He, I mean, he produces at both positions. So I think if you just want a little spark, put Tage in the middle, and maybe it lasts for a while. Maybe he's back on the wing by the weekend. But it's funny because I thought Tage Thompson was a center forever. I really did. That's where he just broke out 4 years ago into one of the league's elite scorers. And like you said, he went to the wing because of the injury last year around, I don't know, maybe after Christmas. And Lindy Ruff liked him there. He produced. I mean, it was easier for him with his injury there for a little while. So he left him there. So that was not something I expected. But I mean, who's to argue with it when you have um, Josh Norris and Yuri Kulich, and Ryan McLeod's coming off a breakout career season, so they had that option, but now they kind of don't have that option.
And something else that was glaring about the lines today, Bill, was Josh Stone being elevated to the right wing 2 spot, and also on the top power play unit. Do you see that sort of being just a short-term play, maybe rewarding Josh Stone for a solid play through the first 3 games in Lindy's opinion? Or like what kind of mix do you think Josh Stone puts into this top 6 and then on the first power play unit?
I think I think they want him on the second or third line. They really like him. I think they just like his all-around game, some of the tenacity he brings, and just a smart player, a very humble kid. He thinks he has more. I think the Sabres think he has more offensively. What that is, I don't know, if that's a 15, 20 goal type guy, but they're giving him every chance to succeed. They put him in situations all throughout camp on scoring lines. He's gotten power play time. I forgot if he was on the top unit the other day, but yeah, I mean, they're giving every chance, and it's just a matter if he seizes it. But I mean, that JJ Peterka trade, getting Michael Kesselring, got a lot of the attention just because, you know, he's a right shot D that the Sabres really wanted to play with Owen Power. But Josh Doan was a big part of that deal too.
Yeah, for sure. And it seemed like in that Sabres Embedded episode that they posted that Kevin Adams was going back and forth with Bill Armstrong, about trying to get Josh Stone in that trade. So it sounds like he wasn't just a throw-in type of player, that they really wanted him to be a part of this. And with his dad's, pedigree in the NHL, you think that he'd be a very valuable player going forward. So we'll see how long he sticks on that. As far as the injury report, you mentioned it, Bill, about Michael Kesselring being out week to week. We know Norris is going to be out for upwards of 8 weeks. Samuelson day to day as well. Luukkonen practice today. Saw your tweet there as well. And then Jordan Greenway still working his way back from a long recovery in the offseason. So it doesn't look like much is coming as far as reinforcements in the short term. So sort of what are we looking at? Is this sort of going to be the line? Like, you can't make trades this early on in the season, and you don't even know what Rochester has at this point. So, when you see the week to weeks injuries, and they're just going to need the guys to step up. No.
Yeah, I think so. Lindy Ruff said today they kind of toyed with calling up like a Noah Ostlund or maybe Hellenius. I forgot the names that were mentioned from Rochester, offensive type guys, but I think he thinks the window's kind of closed for that, just because they've gotten Zach Benson back, Greenway's on his way back, and so forth. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just going to have to come from within. I mean, say what you will about them, I think they've assembled some pretty good depth. Not elite depth, but higher end depth, I would say. Just with some of these guys they have out of the lineup, I mean, it's being tested early, and some of it has responded well. I thought Jacob Bryson and Ryan Johnson, they played together on Monday afternoon. They look very good together. I mean, those guys are probably slotted to be their seventh and eighth defensemen. Josh Dunn, I think he's a guy they like. They've worked in the lineup. He was recalled after the opener. So, I mean, they do have, good guys that can plug in there. But, I mean, realistically, if they're going to get through this, I mean, they need, their top end guys, you know, to step up. Yuri Kulich is a guy, a perfect example. He kind of
Mhm.
moved up to the top line, and now we're wondering if he's going to be a healthy scratch. So, yeah, internally, I mean, it's going to be tough though. I mean, Josh Norris looked like uh, he looked like a 35 goal, 75-point player at least during the preseason. And I know it's the preseason, but he was healthy and I mean, he had a terrific summer apparently, which is something you hear all the time, but he actually got to work out this summer. He was healthy, excuse me, and he was, really able to find a good place with his body and just, the excitement of coming into this new opportunity. And it really looked like he was poised to do something special this season. And to lose that in the opener after all Josh Norris has been through, I mean, it's tough for them. So um, there's no guy in Rochester I think they can recall that's going to obviously replace that, but um, they do have some depth, and you look at down the middle, like I was saying earlier.
Mhm.
I mean, when they're going, I mean, their centers are. I mean, Ryan McLeod's a very good center. Um, Yuri Kulich has a lot of potential. They have Tage Thompson. I mean, they do have some good things down the middle. So there is a little depth there. It's just that the depth hasn't been playing that well.
Yeah, when you lose your top line center in Norris, Tage has moved there, but he was playing wing, and then you lose Kesselring, who's your top four defenseman, and you just
Hmm.
continue to lose these big pieces, as you mentioned. It'd be hard for a lot of teams to overcome. But again, that the Sabres thought that they had the quality depth to be able to overcome something like that, and just through the first 3 games or so, that hasn't shown up. But quickly, I want to touch on the goaltending, Bill, because that's been topic of conversation going into the season. You got your tweet up there about Luukkonen taking some shots in practice today, so that was very encouraging. We know, something popped up right around the prospect camp, and then he came back, and then went right back to the injury report again, and they had signed Gorgiev, and then waived him because they had claimed Colton Ellis off waivers from St. Louis. So it looks like we're running with they're running with Alex Lyon and Colton Ellis right now, and Lyon's played really well, barring everybody else in front of them. But as far as getting Luukkonen back, like, do you think that's going to make the world of difference, or what Lyon's given them has been enough for winning hockey?
Well, what Lions given them is, he's given them more than enough to keep them in every game. To maybe steal a game if they played a little better. I mean, he's been fine. Goaltending hasn't been a problem at all. Of course, they'd like Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen back just because he's their number one goalie, and um, he can be a difference maker. We saw that down the stretch in 23-24, where he was truly one of the league's elite goalies for the final 3-4 months. If they can get that Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, I mean, they're going to have a chance every night. I mean, they're going to steal games. I mean, he's that good when he's on, but they didn't have that Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen last year. So I'm interested to see which one they get this year, because he had some good stretches last year, but he wasn't anywhere near that level. And you wonder, having gone through 2 injuries, he's played 20 minutes so far this season. You just wonder where he's going to be when he comes back. Now, there's been speculation about would they send him on a conditioning assignment? He can play a couple of games in the minors. I mean, that would help, but you just wonder, when they get him back. You assume he's healthy, but where will he be? Just having missed, I guess at least a total of 3 weeks of practice and all but 20 minutes of the preseason.
Yeah, and again with goalies, like if they've got a nagging injury, that's not something that they're going to be able to recover through the season with. They sort of need the off season for that, and It's all about feel in the net. So we'll see how Luukkonen is when he gets back. But lastly, on Lindy Ruff's updates that you had tweeted out, that UPL and Jordan Greenway need a bit more time. Zach Benson expects to play tonight against the Ottawa Senators. Was rocking a nice shiner there. Looked like a really looked like a true hockey player the way that he was looking today and being able to battle through that. But encouraging to see him get back in the lineup. But I think you asked him about Jordan Greenway and what he sort of brought to the practice, and Lindy talked about energy from Jordan Greenway and where he could possibly slide in when he's ready to go. But were you encouraged by what Lindy had to say about some of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, if they're back at practice, you would think that they're on their way back. I don't know if that means 3 days, if it means a week, 10 days, but they should be on their way back. For Jordan Greenway, I mean, it's been tough. I mean, he's had a ton of injuries. He had surgery in December to repair, I guess, a mid-body injury, whatever that is. And he missed time, and he came back, and it was still bothering him. Then they shut him down in, I guess, late March, and then he had surgery again in July to repair it. There was just too much pain. He couldn't get over that hump, he said today. And when they have him, I mean, he's not a star, but I mean, you can tell when they have him. He's often their most physical forward. He's a great penalty killer. He can score some timely goals. I mean, he's a guy they need. And I think when they plug him in, when he's able to come back, I think that's an addition I think you should notice.
Yeah, and he's a guy that has shown that he can play a valuable bottom six role for this hockey club when he's been healthy and playing the last few seasons. So as we wrap up, Bill, I mean, we talk about Ottawa tonight. It's a big game. They got 2 days off, and then they get the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers coming into Buffalo. They got a lot of divisional games right here in this month. Like you look Ottawa, Florida, Montreal, Detroit, 2 against Toronto, and then you got Boston at the end of the month with a Columbus game there at home. So again, like I guess in closing, like, what do you want? Like, obviously you want to see the team pick up some points here, but in the next couple of weeks with all these divisional games coming up that are going to be so valuable, like what do you want to see other than players coming back from injury that they just want to have a better overall outlook on where the team's going to be and not be sputtering at an 0-6, 0-7 record to begin the year?
Well, I think win games, of course, but just within those games, just establish an identity. As the season wore on last year, and they finished whatever it was, 12-7-1 down the stretch, which that's basically a quarter of the season. I mean, they were able to do a lot of what Lindy Ruff wanted. It's just cut down the goals against, just be harder to play against. That doesn't mean running guys through the glass or fighting all the time. It just means just being more sandpaper, more grit, making guys know you're there. And they probably did that a lot better, and we haven't seen that so far. But I mean that's something to look for, just an identity, consistency from game to game of what you see. Because I mean, we haven't seen anything so far, and that's why they're 0-3.
For sure. And again, Bill, I wish I could have you on here and talking about some more positive things, but again, really appreciate your time today and being able to come on and just give some insight for somebody that's on the ground there every day and asking the questions and putting in the hard work. So really appreciate what you do and being able to come on today.
All right, thank you, Brandon. Anytime. I love your set. What a set you got there. How long did it? Is it a green screen? Is it a green screen? What is it?
No, that's all in my background there. That's I put it all up there. So if I ever move, I got to take it all with me. But
I like everything except your sweatshirt. So
hey, big win against the Bills the other night.
Whatever.
Anyways, so that's our Sabres update from Bill Hoppe of Buffalo Hockey Beat and Olean Times Herald, a longtime Sabres media member, and giving some insight on what we can expect from the team tonight as far as the lineup, the injury report, and everything like that. And look forward to having Bill on again throughout the season here. So thank you very much to those that tuned in today on our YouTube channel on the video version and those that all on-demand audio platforms. Make sure to give us a follow on X at Sabres Semantics, as well as on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So for my guest, Bill Hoppe, my name is Brandon Caputo. that's it for another episode of Sabres Semantics right here on the Armchair GM Sports Network. Talk to you again very soon.
You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.